guys are doing well and are having the most incredible day. As always, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, we are back to do a monthly wrap-up of all the books I read in the month of March. Now, I honestly feel like I smashed last month. I've read 10 books, 5 of which were all part of the same series, which I am so impressed with. There were 6 books I aimed to read out of one series. I managed to get through 5, and I will be reading the last one in April 100%. So we have a bunch to get through. I'm very excited to share with you my thoughts, my feelings on all of these books. Grab yourselves a coffee, a tea, a snack, and let's dive into the monthly wrap-up of March. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go. So firstly, we're going to go through all of the books that weren't part of that series, and then we're going to end with a bang. So the first book I read was Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This one was actually featured in a reading vlog, which I will have on the screen. If you guys want to go and watch it, then please do. But this book was not great, I'm not gonna lie. Essentially, this one focuses on a guy called Billy and his friend Ethan. Now, Billy and Ethan, when they're younger, they go to sleep in a tent in their garden, and they both essentially, I say they both wake up in the morning. No, Ethan wakes up in the morning and Billy is nowhere to be seen, and he's not seen basically ever again. So it then goes 30 years later and you're reading as the part of Ethan, and it's just, it had all the bases to be a really good book, but it wasn't delivered in the best way, if I'm being honest. It just wasn't, I don't even know how to describe it. It just wasn't giving. Like, it was almost slow and boring, and the way that they went through different things in this book, it felt like I was reading it for a really long time. Does that make sense? Like, I'd be reading about something and they're still going on and on about this one little thing that isn't really that relevant, and it was just constantly being brought up again and again, and it just wasn't giving it. I gave this book a 2-star overall. It really wasn't my favorite. I have got a lot of other Riley Sager books in my TBR that I really want to read, because I feel like I've heard really good things about him as an author, and I don't want to just base him off this one book, but it wasn't for me, unfortunately. So I gave this one a 2-star, and I just didn't love it. It was just a bit slow. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't giving. Next up, we have a little bit of a random one, and this is Gone for Good by Sarah Crossan. Anyway, this one is a bit of a random one because me and my mum both purchased this book on a whim from Waterstones a couple weeks ago, and I didn't expect to love this as much as I did. This is a YA mystery thriller. Essentially, it focuses on a girl called Connie who gets basically kidnapped from her room at her parents' house in the middle of the night, and she gets taken to this school for troubled youths basically, and it's essentially like this really weird, I don't want to say like camp, but it's not. It's a very strict kind of prison-like school, but it's not a school because they don't have classes or anything. It's almost, dare I say, like a torture chamber. Like, it's not good. But when she gets there, she realizes that the girl who used to sleep in her bed actually went missing, and it's kind of about that. And then a lot of things go on in this kind of, I can't say it without spoiling it, but basically Connie decides that she wants to figure out where Beth went and what happened. The reason I love this book so much, I loved the format of the writing. I didn't realize, I think there is a type of, there's a way that this is described, and I don't know if it's meant to be like poetry or something. Like, someone said in a comment somewhere that it was supposed to be a type of writing, and I can't remember what the word was, but essentially, if I show you, like, it's very spaced out, so when you're reading it, you're flying through the pages because it's not like full page full of words, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but you guys know what I mean. So that being said, with how quick I read this, bearing in mind, is a nearly 400-page book. I read this in 2 sittings. I flew through this book. I absolutely loved it. It was such a fun time. The twists, the turns. I will say the kind of reasoning as to what happened at the end it did disappoint me a little bit. I feel like it could have been a lot deeper and a lot more jaw-dropping, to be honest with you, but I gave this one a 4-star. I thought it was really fun. If you're looking for a fun like YA thriller that's not too, I don't really know what the word is, but it's not too like gory and scary as you're reading it, like, this was a really good one. I would really recommend. But yeah, I gave this a 4-star, so it was a really good one. The next book was another thriller, and I feel like I was on an absolute thriller binge towards the end of March. If you guys have any thriller recommendations, by the way, please let me know. know, because I'm still absolutely obsessed with them at the moment. But the next book I read was Want to Know a Secret by Frida McFadden. I can never have a new Frida book on my TBR for longer than a couple weeks before I have to read it. So this one was no different. I absolutely devoured this one. I loved the sprayed edges as well. Really super fun. So this one focuses on a girl called April who is a mother. She's also a baker. She's a YouTuber who essentially bakes on the internet, and she kind of gives you secrets. This book, again, similar to Dear Debbie, was really hard to get into a little bit because I was kind of like trying to see what was going on, if that makes sense. Like I didn't really know where the twists and the turns were going to come, and this is going to be so hard for me to explain without spoiling it. But essentially April gets a new neighbour. She lives in this little tiny cul-de-sac where everyone is like prim, proper. There's specific rules, like you can't have a dog unless you apply to, like, I don't know, the street's head lady that you want to get a dog, and you have to have a certain size dog, and you can't like have it barking after a certain time. Like it's very kind of, it's giving, what was that film with Jim Carrey where he's in, like, is it The Truman Show? Is that what it's called? It's giving that vibe because everyone is a little bit specific. Anyway, a lot of things go on within this book, and then you start trusting people, and then you don't know who to trust, and it took me on a bit of a journey. And I will say, like, when I got to maybe a third of the way in, that was when I was like flying through the book and kind of enjoying it more. So I gave this one a 4-star. I love Frida. I know that a lot of people that read Frida, they will compare her to other thriller authors and think like it's not great, but I haven't read a lot of thriller authors apart from Frida, so I feel like she never does me wrong. Do you know what I mean? So let me know any recommendations. Please leave them down below. I love a good thriller that where like the plot twists are so insane that I just can't believe what I've read. That's the kind of thrillers I like. So let me know some down below. I love this one. I can't really tell you guys much about what this book's about without spoiling it, so I actually will hold up the back if you guys want to read it. But I would recommend it. It was a lot of fun. It obviously wasn't as good as some of her others, but I think it was definitely enjoyable and I would recommend. But yeah, again, it's so hard for me to describe it without giving it away, but all you need to know is that it was so weird, and like you still think things are going on, but like you just don't know who to trust. Anyway, I did enjoy it though. It was good, and I just really enjoyed I can't even tell you because it's gonna give it away, but yeah, I would recommend. I enjoyed it. Next up, we have a book by one of my absolute faves, and that is Burning Daylight by Emily McIntyre. Now this one was actually my book club pick of the month, and I loved this book. I gave this one a 4-star. It was really, really fun, very spicy. It had so much going for it. I will say it was a little bit long, like it was over 500 pages, and it was feeling like over 500 pages, if you know what I mean. Like I was getting to a point where I was like come on, like hurry up. Do you know what I mean? It was a little bit long, but I loved it. It was so good. So this one focuses on Juliet and Roman. I believe this is a loose reimagined vibe of like Romeo and Juliet. So essentially it's like a family feud situation. They meet each other without knowing who each other are, and they have like a situation when they're younger, and then it kind of goes to 4 years later. They've not seen each other since, and they bump into each other in like another city somewhere, and it's just like an insta-lust, insta-love, like forbidden romance situation. It was really fun. Again, very spicy. I loved the kind of forbidden aspect of this book. Like they want to be together but they shouldn't be together because their families hate each other. There was a lot going on behind the scenes that really took me by surprise, especially some of the characters. I really thought I kind of knew what was going on with them, but I had absolutely no idea. There were scenes in this where I was like, am I gonna cry? Like reading certain bits of this, I really thought that I was gonna start sobbing my eyes out, but it didn't kind of, yeah, it didn't quite make me cry, but it was very, very good. As I said, I gave this one a 4-star. I would recommend, and I just love Emily McIntyre. She, in my opinion, also can do no wrong. I've loved every book I've read by her. I do have another series on my TBR by her actually, which is I can't remember what it's called. I don't know, but it's not the Never After series. It's the other one. I have that one to read, but yeah, I absolutely love this, and I can't wait for the next book because I've seen who the next book is about, and I'm very excited. The next book I read in the month of March was absolutely was my favourite book of the month of March. I absolutely loved this book. This is Sinbin by Chelsea Curto. This was a 5-star read. It was going to be a 5-star read because I just love this series. This whole series has been a 5-star read. It's insane. I love it. The found family, the spice, every single element of these books I absolutely love, and I just I just love them so much. This one focused on Brody and Hannah, and this is an age gap. I'm trying to describe it. I always get confused. Basically, he is her brother's hockey coach. It's like 14-year age gap. She's a figure skater. She teaches his daughter how to figure skate. It's just so good. It was so good. It was insane. And it's kind of like they almost get together at the start, something happens, and then they don't speak for like a year, and they kind of go from there. It's so good. If you can take anything from this video, it's to pick up this series. Not only is it getting traditionally published, which I cannot wait for, they're on Kindle Unlimited. They are so good. The spice, it's insane. Like I just love it. I absolutely love it. Whatever she put in these books, crack, let me tell you. I just can't put them down. I'm obsessed with it. Again, I don't really want to tell you guys too much about this one in particular because there are elements of all 4 other books in this book, but all you need to know is age gap, spicy, kick your feet screaming, giggling, that kind of vibe. It was just insane. And yeah, I'm so sad that I have no more books left. I think she is releasing another book in this series towards the end of the year. If not, there might be 2. I know there's definitely 2 more books coming out in this series, but I need them now. So Chelsea, if you ever see this video, please, I will sell my soul for an arc of the next 2 books. Honestly, I just can. I need it ASAP. But please read this series. Insane. And the last 5 books are all part of the same series, and I'm not going to talk about each book super loads because I feel like it is going to start to get a bit repetitive. So the first book we have is Game Changer by Rachel Reed. This is book 1 in the Game Changer series. I actually read this one because the next book that I'm going to talk about was featured in a reading vlog in the month of March. If you guys want to watch it, please do. I'll leave a photo on the screen. If you guys want to watch it, then I would really appreciate it. But I had to read this book first because you guys know me. I cannot go into a series starting book 2, so I had to read book 1, and I did go into a little bit of a description in that video of this book as well. But essentially this one focuses on Kip and Scott. Now Kip is a barista, he makes smoothies, and Scott comes in. Scott is the hockey player, and he gets a smoothie, and then all of a sudden like they win a game, and then he goes back the next day and the next day and the next day, and it becomes more of a tradition to get a smoothie before his game so he can win. But also he starts to really like Kip, and it kind of goes from there. This was so sweet. This one I gave let me just check, a 4-star. I just really loved Kip and Scott, and you do see Kip and Scott again throughout the book, so I would recommend reading them in order. You definitely don't have to, but I feel like the more I got through the books, the more I was really enjoying seeing snippets of the characters again. I really enjoyed this one. This was a really fun read, and again, if you haven't read the series, really recommend it. They're just so fun. They're really sweet, they're spicy, and just really wholesome. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Next up, we have the book that everybody is talking about, and that is Heated Rivalry. So this one focuses on Ilya and Shane. This one is essentially an enemies to lovers. Well, it's more like a rivals to lovers, like they're on different teams. They basically are hooking up in secret, and then it goes from there. They start to realize that, you know, they're not just with each other just for these hookups, like they're actually starting to have feelings. Ilya is very closed off. He has a bit of a rubbish relationship with his family, and he just really confides in Shane, which is really nice. Again, I cannot tell you too much about this book, but it was a 4-star read. I really enjoyed this one, and I just love Ilya so much. Like I didn't think I'd love him as much as I do, but the more you see him in other books, you'll start to really like warm to him more, and I really like him. So yeah, this one again, a 4-star read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next one in the series that I got through was A Tough Guy. This one I gave a 3-star. It's actually quite a bit shorter than the others. It is literally, I don't even think it hit 300 pages. It was a very short book. This one focuses on Fabian and Ryan. Fabian is more of a feminine gay man, so he wears makeup, he kind of dresses a little bit more on the feminine side, and Ryan again is the hockey player, and he absolutely just falls head over heels for him. And basically they knew each other when they were younger because Ryan stayed at Fabian's house. I think his parents took in like certain children for certain amounts of time. I don't know if it was just hockey players or not, I can't remember. So they knew of each other, but then they bump into each other again. And Fabian is also a musician who again you do sort of see in the later books as well, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, this one was really fun. This one I just gave a 3 because I felt like, I don't know why I did, to be honest. I didn't just love it as much as the others. I think maybe because it was shorter, I didn't feel like there was enough time to fall in love with them as much, but I did enjoy it, and I would recommend definitely if you're umming and ahhing about continuing with the series, I definitely would. I really enjoyed it. The next one one we have is Common Goal. This one I also gave a 3-star. This one focuses on a guy called Kyle who actually has a crush on Kip, who is in this book, spoiler alert, engaged, so obviously off limits, but he's from book 1. So this is why I think reading all the books in order is really helpful, because you do see snippets from other characters within these books. So Kyle has had a crush on Kip for so long, but he's obviously engaged now to Scott, so he's kind of getting over that, if that makes sense. But then in comes Eric, who I believe is an older guy. I think he was the goalie from what I remember, and he was more of a mature, so this is more of like an age gap situation. Again, a lot of these books focus on similar like subjects, like one of them is normally gay in secret, the other one normally isn't, and it's like, do I want to come out for this other person, that kind of thing. But that is kind of what this one was giving. But it was really fun. Again, a 3-star read. I do recommend, and I will say I am slightly forgetting all the pinpoints and like tiny snippets because I have read these like back to back, so they're kind of blurring in one anyway. And the last one I read in that series, and the last book I read in March, was Role Model. This one I really enjoyed actually. I gave this one a 4-star. This one I literally finished reading about half an hour before I started filming, so I am hopefully going to have a lot more information on this one. So this one focuses on Troy and Harrison. Harrison I loved. He was so sweet and so funny and just very like happy all the time. He was really great. And Harrison is the social media manager for the hockey team, and Troy, I believe he's in Ilya's team. So this is where it kind of gets a bit confusing because it's not all focusing on just one hockey team. It kind of goes between a few different ones. So this one, I think Troy is on Ilya's team from what I remember. He goes from one team, goes to Ilya's team. He's actually gay, but he's closeted. No one knows. And his ex-best friend has just been done for SA. So he is like absolutely blown away. Like he just doesn't know what to do, but he believes all the victims. So he is posting online like how much he is supporting these victims, but he's kind of getting a little bit told off from the guys like higher up, being like, you can't post these things, like we're trying to almost brush it under the carpet sort of thing. Their bond was so sweet, and like it was almost just very slow burning, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this one was a 4-star. I absolutely loved it. So those are all of the books I read throughout the month of March. I truly feel like I had a really good reading month. I read 10 books, which is usually a really kind of happy medium for me. I tend to read anywhere between like 8 to I'd say 12, so I'm happy with 10. I feel really proud of myself, and I would love to know down below in the comments, how many books did you read in the month of March, and also what was your favourite book that you read in the month of March, because I would absolutely love to know, and I am always on the lookout for book recommendations. Again, if you have any thriller recommendations, let me know. I love a plot twist. That is what I'm looking for. I want a book that I'm not going to be able to put down, but also that has me gagged at the end of it. That is what I'm looking for. So yeah, any requests, please let me know down below. But that is going to be everything for today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. It would absolutely mean the world, and honestly it just makes me so happy just uploading videos, and I appreciate you so incredibly much. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Also, don't forget my book club links are down below, and that is going to be everything. I love you guys so incredibly much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.